Hey, kindergartners! I hope you've enjoyed this week learning all about frogs. I have learned a lot of interesting facts, and I hope you've learned a lot of interesting facts too. So, today I'm going to read you a fiction story, and it is about our character named Froggy. Have you guys ever heard a story about Froggy? There's lots of stories using our character Froggy. And this one is called Froggy Eats Out. So again, a fiction story is a made-up story. We read fiction stories more so for enjoyment, not because we need to learn about facts or anything like that. Our fiction stories are going to have a beginning, they're going to have a middle, they're going to have an end. Our fiction stories should have a problem and a solution. And our fiction stories also have characters. They have a setting where the story takes place, and they have events that happen in them. So let's read about our story, Froggy Eats Out. It was almost dinner time, and Froggy was hungry. He sat in the kitchen and dreamed about burgers and flies. So we eat burgers and fries, and he's eating burgers and flies like the bug. Would you eat flies? Then he hopped up and looked for something to eat. He looked in the cabinet. Slam! He looked in the fridge. Slam! Have you ever done that before? You're trying to find something to eat and there's just nothing you want? He looked in the oven. Bang! Mom! Yelled Froggy. There's nothing to eat! Oh, have you ever said that at home? I bet some of you have definitely said that before. I know my kids have. Froggy! Called his mother. What? Did you forget? It's our anniversary. We're going out to eat. Hooray! Said Froggy. Let's go! First, you have to get dressed up, dear. We're going to a fancy restaurant. Ooh, have you ever been to a fancy restaurant? So at a fancy restaurant, a lot of times you have to wear special clothes, and they will have waiters and waitresses that bring you food, and they give you really nice glasses, like an actual glass to drink out of. So it's very fancy. So Froggy flopped to his bedroom. Flop, flop, flop. Froggy makes that flopping noise because guess why? He has webbed feet. We learned that in our stories, or in our books this week. He slipped off his shirt, unzipped his pants, took off his shoes, pulled off his socks, and he even changed his underwear with a zap of elastic. Oh, look, here he is getting dressed for the fancy dinner. Then he tugged on his best pants, zip, buttoned up his best shirt, zut, 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 put on his best socks, zoop, pulled on his best shoes, zup, and tied them up, zit, zit. And then he put on his best bow tie, snap, and flopped out to show his mom and dad, flop, flop, flop. Oh my. Does he look nice? Do you think he's ready for to go to the fancy restaurant? You look very handsome, dear, said his mother. But you forgot to wash. Oops, said Froggy. Uh-oh. So he went to the bathroom and washed his hands and face. Splash, splash, splash. He used lots and lots of water and only a little bit of soap. So we learned that frogs have to stay really wet, didn't we? Wonder if that's why he used so much water. Then he dried off with the towel, zoop, and looked at himself in the mirror. He thought he was kind of cute. Do you think he's kind of cute? Froggy, called his father. What? Time to go, said his dad. We'll be late. And off they flopped to the restaurant. Flop, flop, flop. Oh, look, his dad is wearing a suit and a tie. Must be a really fancy restaurant they're going to. At the restaurant, Froggy's eyes grew big and round. There were glowing candles, flowers in vases, and tablecloths as white as snow. So here they are at the fancy restaurant. They have really nice tablecloths. There's a waiter that's wearing also a bow tie. And they have candles on the tables. This is a fancy restaurant, said Froggy. Yes, said his mother. So remember, be neat, be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. Does your mom ever tell you those kind of rules? I know I tell my kids those kind of rules. When they were seated, Froggy said, I'm hungry. Let's eat. First, we have to order, dear, said his mother. I want a hamburger, said Froggy. No hamburgers here, said his father. Do you think Froggy's behaving so far? Oh, should we demand things? Should we say, I want this? No, we could ask. We could say, can I please have this? When the waiter handed him a menu, Froggy opened it and knocked over a glass of water. Crash. Uh-oh. Is that behaving at the fancy restaurant? Oops, cried Froggy. Oh, Froggy, said his mother. Remember what I told you? I know, said Froggy. Be neat, be quiet, don't put your feet on the table. Oh my, Froggy is very klutzy. But it was hard to be neat and quiet. He fidgeted, he shook the salt on his hand, and he licked it. Ooh. He banged his spoon on the table, bang, bang, bang. And he hit hard on the tip of the spoon and flipped it right back into the waiter's head. Boink. Oh my, look it. So the illustrator drew where he's eating the salt, he's banging the spoons, and look, then the spoon went flying and hit the penguin in the head. After the waiter finally came back and took their order, they waited and waited and waited. Froggy pulled petals off the flowers, he blew on the candle, he sucked on sugar cubes and ice cubes. Oh my. Is it hard to wait when you go out to eat? Yeah, it can be hard to wait, especially for kids that are younger. And look, Froggy's not doing a very good job waiting. He is eating the sugar and he's blowing on the candles. Then he hopped and flopped around the restaurant. Flop, 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 singing, be neat, be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. Oh my, look at now. All the people in the restaurant are looking at him. Is he being a very good listener? Froggy, called his father. What? Please sit down now. Is his dad happy with him? No, he is not on his best behavior. Froggy sat down. Finally, dinner was served. Froggy stuck his fork into a huge plate of spaghetti and sucked some up. It was fun, so he slurped up some more. And that's when he saw Frogolina. So here he is, slurping on his spaghetti. Should you slurp spaghetti? No, that's not very good table manners. It's kind of like eating with your mouth open. You wouldn't do that either. Oh, and look, then he saw Frogolina. She was sitting with her parents. Hi, Froggy, called Frogolina. Who's that pretty girl? Asked his mom. So they know each other. Froggy was so embarrassed, he ducked beneath the tablecloth and pulled and pulled and pulled till his spaghetti and fly sauce landed smack on his head. Splat. Oh, so he was trying to hide from Frogolina. And look, he pulled the whole tablecloth off and all of the plates and the glasses went everywhere. Oops, cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. Happy anniversary, he croaked. Oh, look, and the illustrator made his face red. What is that? What does that show? How do you think he feels? Yeah, he's definitely embarrassed. What a mess, cried his father. Oh, Froggy, said his mother. Froggy scooped spaghetti off his face and said, I know. Let's go eat out at a Fast Flies place. Good idea, said his mother. Oh, so was Froggy up for going out to a fancy dinner? No, it's more so for a place for adults to enjoy. Let's go, said his father, and together they leap-hopped all the way there. Flop, flop, flop. Oh, and here they are, out to eat at a fast food restaurant, where they all ate burgers and flies. Munch, crunch, munch. The end. All right, so let's talk about our story elements. Who were the characters in our story? Yeah, we had Froggy, his mom, his dad, the waiter was in the story, and Froggelina, right? She kind of played an important part in the story. Where were they at in the story? They were at really three places. They were at their house, and then they went to the fancy restaurant, and then they went to the fast food place, right? What happened at the beginning of the story? Yeah, Froggy was hungry and he was looking for food, and he asked his mom, and his mom said, "We're going out to eat." Good. And then what happened in the middle of the story? So in the middle of the story, Froggy went out to eat with his parents to a fancy restaurant, and his mom told him to behave. Did Froggy behave? No, he definitely did not behave. And he felt very embarrassed, didn't he? And what happened at the end of the story? Yeah, he knocked all the things off the table, and his parents and Froggy were so embarrassed, they decided to leave the fancy restaurant and go out to the fast food restaurant instead. Good job, boys and girls. I hope you guys enjoyed the story I shared with you about Froggy, and we will see you next time. Bye.